Well, to be honest, it's not easy doing business in Aruba. There's a lot of red tape.
What current trends are you seeing in the real estate business
Well,
in Aruba?
The good thing about Airbnbs or vacation rentals is that the money trickles down the economy. In hotels, not so much.
From all the islands, why Aruba?
The Palm Beach is great, but it's too crowded. I think that's the past. So now we're focused on Oranjestad and Paribas Group. When you come to an island as a guest, you have to spread the wealth. It's not you, and you. You have to find a way that everybody wins.
Hi, we are here at the Power of Bold Living podcast. My name is Jennifer Figueroa, and we are very happy to introduce a new guest, a special guest actually, Mr. Alberto Perret, a well-renowned project developer in Aruba. Mr. Perret, welcome.
Thank you very much. Very happy to be here. One, because I'm invited to this very famous podcast, and second, because today we're finally signing Royal Plaza building. That's why I'm still sweating. We just did the final inspection like 10 minutes ago.
That's amazing. I know that's a very, very unique project as well. But before we go into the projects that you have, tell us a little bit about your background, about you.
Yes, well, I'm a Venezuelan, proud Venezuelan civil engineer. Then I did my MBA in Cornell University in New York State. And since then, I was first involved in insurance, and for the last 20 years, back to the family business, which is real estate development. And the company's been here for 20 years already. So we did our first project, Oceania, then Blue, then Azure Beach Residences, then Harbor House. So I'm eager to start a new one.
That's beautiful, Alberto. And why Aruba? I mean, from all the islands, why Aruba?
Well, you know that initially we, when issues started to happen, in Venezuela, we started to look for a plan B. And we tried Trinidad and Tobago. And then we were lucky enough to come to Aruba. And I think this island is blessed, and we saw some opportunities. So it's been already 20 years. We're happy. The law works. We've been welcomed. So I think we were lucky to finally end up. And now it's our plan A, or only plan, because all of our investments are now in Aruba.
Amazing. I know Aruba is very unique. And we get to see that because we get more than 1 million visitors per year on the island. So that's beautiful. And now I know that we are an island. And for an island, I know and I see that we are very well organized. But sometimes with projects, the projects have sometimes their challenges. What challenges do you face when pulling off a project?
Well, to be honest, it's not easy doing business in Aruba. There's a lot of red tape. At the end, what I said before, the rule of the law works. That's something good. But there's definitely, I think, it takes too long. Like in our case, the Nanke project is 4.5 years since we started looking into that. So there should be ways to improve that. But in general, all I can say is that we're very happy. All in all, it's a great place to do business with. It's safe. We all know that Aruba is outside the hurricane belt. We all know that there are like 16 daily flights from the U.S. And as you said before, stay-over tourists from 1 million. Last year was 1.25, and this year is going to be over 1.4. So Aruba is blessed. That's just, there are some things that can be fixed, but there's no other place I can think of that I would rather invest.
That's so nice to hear. I know, and indeed, you're totally right. Aruba is amazing, and the safety is that's for a lot of tourists the most important thing. You know, that you can just go to the beach and let your kids be free, and that's beautiful. That you cannot find everywhere.
I agree.
So let's talk about your projects in particular. How can you describe every project that you have done here in Aruba?
Well, we started like the first one was Oceania, and that was sort of the first condominium in the island, so it was something new. When we got here, nobody believed in us. No bank wanted to lend us any money. So it was actually, to be honest, we lost money because we sold. We had to pre-sale at a very low price, and then when we found out the real prices, we lost. So, but we decided to stay. Thank God. And then we were able to make money on the other ones like Blue and Azure. So that's there was a sort of there were no many condominiums on the island, so we saw that niche. No much competition, to be honest, at that time. So we thought it was a good thing. And part of our strategy is that we have worked with local contractors. So when you come to an island as a guest, you have to spread the wealth. It's not you, and you. You have to find a way that everybody wins. Then that's what pretty much our strategy.
And Alberto, just a question. I mean, I'm questioning you a lot. But what set your projects apart from other projects? What can you say about that?
Well, the first thing is location. If you see, everything we do, if I don't see the ocean, I don't get involved.
That's so true.
So that's, and what better ocean than the Caribbean Sea? So that's one thing. The other one is that our company has been around it was my father's. I think is 75 years, something like that. So we know our business. And now we have built the trust from buyers because it's very important to make sure that the developer is going to come through and they have the financials or reputation that they're going to do it. So after 20 years, I think we have gained that. And that's, I think, one of our competitive advantages.
Yeah, definitely. You're totally right. The trust is so important. And for non-resident to invest money in Aruba, they need to be 100% sure where they're investing it. And, you know, and who is the developer? That's really, really important.
And also that we're not going anywhere. So after we sell, sometimes somebody calls me from Oceania, which we finished some 20 years ago, and I still, hey, yeah, how can I help you? So that's amazing,
right?
That's part of our.
That's amazing.
Of our
and you know, we are entering, or we are right now in the technology era.
Right.
What kind of technology do you implement in your condominiums, in your projects?
Yes. Nowadays it's more like intelligent buildings. So all the internet and those things are much more modern. We are working towards sustainability. So like the wastewater goes for irrigation. We have solar panels. So that's pretty much the technology. And the other technology has to do a lot with internet that before you only had like a kid came only with an iPad to an apartment. Now they have like 7 different gadgets. So you have to increase the capacity of your internet, of course. And people don't know this, but Aruba is the best internet in the Caribbean. So that's something that the buyers and guests really like because more and more there are like these nomads that come to work or how do you call that, vacation work or so it's very important.
Workation.
Exactly, workation. I hate that word because before you can turn off your phone and forget about it, now you are traveling and you have to be on your phone 24/7. But in any case, that is a trend and it's happening. And you need to have the top internet.
You know, it's so funny that you say internet because indeed it's very important for someone who comes to Aruba that the internet is working. Sometimes I sell houses, for example, and they tell me, Jennifer, please make sure that the house has internet. I'm like, okay, maybe that's the most important thing, but you know, it's funny just to say that internet is just something that's not a luxury, is a must. We have to have it, yes. So if we move on to the current trends, what current trends are you seeing in the real estate business in Aruba? And that's including what's going to happen in Orionstadt. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I think the fundamentals are great. And the reason is that the demand is growing. As I just mentioned, the stayover tourists are increasing 20%, 15% a year. And on the other side, there is a moratorium in place for hotels and pretty much also for condominiums. So it's just a matter of supply and demand. So nowadays, I think it will be a good time to purchase. If you see places in other islands in the Caribbean, Aruba is still cheap. So I think the fundamentals are great. And for buyers, what I tell them is not only rental revenue. You have to see appreciation, the possibility of appreciation. So especially in oceanfront buildings, I think it's great. Then there's a different market, which is the local market, but that's sort of another story, or the affordable market, that is another story. So what we're seeing is that the government wants to push for Oranjestad, they want to push to Cerro Colorado, and that's where we're aiming our efforts nowadays. Sometimes I say that Palm Beach is great, but it's too crowded. I think that's the past. So now we're focused on Oranjestad and Paribas de Brook.
Yeah, because in Oranjestad, your new project, can you tell me a little bit
Our
about
new
that?
project is it's called Casa Playa. It's gonna be the old, or what until today is gonna be called Royal Plaza.
Yes.
It's a beautiful building, 25-year-old, an iconic building.
Yes.
So it's gonna be we're gonna keep the same facade, the same iconic building, but the luxury is all the interiors are gonna be renewed and luxured, and it has amazing views towards Paradigm Bay. So that one I'm very happy. Only 62 units, 1 and 2 bedrooms, only 3 or 4 3 bedrooms. So I'm very optimistic on that project. We're gonna have solar panels. We're gonna keep all the stores that face the LG Smith. So we're gonna have parking on the back for the 62 units. So I'm very optimistic. It's something similar to what we did in Harbor House. That was our best project so far.
And there is a feature that you didn't mention, the parking.
Yeah, the parking is nice because we're sacrificing all the stores in the back for parking.
Yes.
So we're gonna have a valet parking,
Valet,
and
yes.
that's something that
That's new.
Yeah, it's something new in Aruba, and it's you see like the fancy condos in the States have it, and you're in your house. Hey, I'm coming down in 5 minutes, and you'll have your car ready. Right. So that's something that people appreciate, and all of the parkings are gonna be covered. So the courtyard in front is gonna be completely open and landscaped.
Yes.
That's that. So I'm eager to, since we finalized Harbor House 4 years ago. What I love is construction, so I'm eager to start right away.
No, I know. So Alberto, let's talk a little bit about Airbnb, just to touch base about that. I know that the Parliament is busy with a new law, new regulations about the Airbnb. As I mentioned before, we get so many tourists per year, so the Airbnb market is very popular and very in high demand in Aruba. But can you tell us a little bit about that regulation that is in pipeline to come?
What we haven't, I have not read the law. We participated in a couple of meetings early on the process. What I saw, I liked in general. The view they have is that they need to, in a way, control Airbnbs. One of the things that more than 70% of the people are not paying their room taxes, so that needs to be fixed. Like right away, it's not. We need. Everybody needs a level playing field. Everybody needs to pay, and you will have to register and be current with your taxes. If not, you cannot be listed on Airbnb or Verbo or any other one. So in that sense, I think the law is right. You're going to have to pay a yearly license for that, which is very common in any other jurisdiction. What they're trying to do is, in a way, probably cap some of the Airbnbs. Right now, our numbers say they are like 3,700, but the problem is specific to certain areas, like for example, North, that there is a big concentration. So in Oranjestad, in Cerro Colorado, and in other places, the government wants to incentivize Airbnbs, but maybe in some specific areas, like nowadays the ROP establishes that only 90 days. For residential areas, that's not being enforced, and it's impossible to enforce. Yes. So they realize that, so they're changing those rules. So in the tourist area, there's no problem with that. But in the way it, I don't know how they're gonna cap the ones, for example, in North. One way, that's my personal opinion, that can be capped, and it's not that I'm inventing the wheel. It has happened in other jurisdictions. Is just allowing residents to rent short term. So if you're not a resident, then you cannot rent Airbnbs. And that alleviates the pressure of the prices going up in those areas. But those are very specific areas. And then again, this has nothing whatsoever to do with affordable housing. A house in Malmö does not affect affordable housing. That's a complete different issue. And it has been proven that the increase in prices has very little to do with Airbnbs. It has more to do with the high construction prices, with the high import duties that are around 18% for building houses, and the new BBO of 7%. So don't blame Airbnbs for price increases. That has very little to do. But in general, we think that regulations are needed, smart regulations are needed,
Yes.
and for what we've known so far, the law is in the right way, in the right direction.
So so we don't have to panic about that.
At all, at all. Well, actually, we requested, as I'm part of the Vacation Rental Professionals Association, we requested a meeting with the people working on this to see the final draft. What can happen is, for example, if they cap the houses in North, that can affect prices a little bit. But if it's only for residents, not so much. And in that case, then let's say like in the tourist zone, they might even go up. So that's, but it's better than what we have because right now the ROP says that in all residential areas, nobody can rent for more than 90 days.
Yeah.
So what we're getting is a lot better than what we have.
That's beautiful to.
And then again, as an association, it's not, our vision is not only our personal interest, we have to think about the interest of Aruba. So what I tell the ministers is, what's better, Airbnb is owned by Aruban or a 900-room all-inclusive? You just tell me, what's best? The good thing about Airbnbs or vacation rentals is that the money trickles down the economy. In hotels, not so much.
Yeah, I think you're totally right about that. I mean, it's important to have everything under control.
Right.
And right now it is
It's
not.
a balance. You need a balance.
Yeah, you need as an island again. You need to balance everything.
Right.
So what they're trying to do, it's okay. The only thing, as you mentioned, it has to be smart.
Has to be smart
Yes.
regulation.
All right. So let's. Are you planning to expand beyond Aruba?
Wow, I've been invited a couple of times to Curaçao, but right now I want to focus in Aruba.
Yeah.
You know, we're starting these two projects, Royal Plaza or Casa Playa, and also the one in Nanke Beach, which is going to be amazing. There's only 40 units, so it's sort of I have my hands full, but yes, eventually I will.
Expand your horizons,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you mentioned Nanke, and we didn't talk about it, but tell me a little bit about Nanke.
Nanke is beautiful because there's where the Nanke Club or the Exo Club used to be right next to the Rum Reef. There are ruins, pretty much. So the idea is finally we signed the ERFPAC a month ago, and the idea is to take those ruins out and build a very sustainable building. It's only 2 stories. Also, we want to plant a lot of trees around if we're allowed. So it's going to be like trying to blend with the nature. All the surrounding areas are nature. And this is a different clientele from the ones buying in Oranjestad or Palm Beach or Eagle Beach. This is the type kind of people that like the outdoors. They don't need to wait for a palapa. Wake up at 5 in the morning, which I personally hate. You can imagine Baby Beach during the week is sort of your private beach. So I'm sure, actually I'm keeping one unit that's going to be my weekend getaway. It's only 40 units. That's going to be beautiful.
And it is not so far from Oranjestad. It's about what 35 minutes or
35
something.
minute drive. From my
That's
house
it.
to it's 35 minutes. From the airport is 25 minutes. So it's very close. And you are like in the middle of nowhere, which I really like. And now, if I heard the Prime Minister, talking about a road through the refinery between San Nicolas and Cerro Colorado, so you're going to be 5 minutes away from San Nicolas. So again, the future is Paribas de Brugge.
Paribas de Brugge, yes. And Alberto, you are so experienced in this field. What advice can you give to aspiring new developers in your experience?
I don't want any competition, so go some other place. No, what I think is, it's in my opinion, is it's very important to buy. You have the key in real estate is buying at a good price, and in my personal opinion, in the case of Aruba, I think you have to look to a very good location, either the sea or some places in Santa Cruz are also nice, overlooking close to Aricoc or maybe in a golf course. But the location is key, and buy low, and that's pretty much it. Anybody can build the trust, be honest, have a post-sale service that people can trust, but it's you have to be patient in Aruba. If you're not patient, really go somewhere else. You have to persevere, Things take long, but things are, at the end of the day, as I said before, it's a great place to invest.
So, Alberto, is there anything else that you want to add?
Well, maybe just to mention that as part of our social responsibility, we are, together with a group of other 3 Arubans, we founded the Impact Hub. And now we have 3 nice projects. One has to do with an incubator, Oranjestad 2024. Then we have also, we want to maybe find some partnership with environmentalists to have some reforestation of Aruba. When I go to Curacao, I see a lot of trees, and I would like to see more trees in Aruba. Actually, there's a beautiful project in the Green Corridor, but it was never done because lack of money. Maybe we can find some funding in Europe and do something about it. I rather walk the walk than talk the talk. So we're working on that. And the other project, which is led by Marianne Falconi, is enhancing Westrat. So we're working with the neighbors around here, and like in here where we are, the Harms family was kind enough to have a low rate for the artists. The same happened in Harbor House, and we are to enhance this area. We have Geoffrey Weber working on Wilhelmina Strasse. So there are like clusters that at the end of the day they're gonna unite. So the only thing we are asking the government is to open Gate 1 to the Westrat Art District, which is gonna be very nice. So it needs to be led by the private sector, which is what's happening in Westrat. Also, besides Mr. Richard Eman, Francido with Papiamento, they're going to open their distillery in 2 or 3 months. But we only need an executive decision to open that gate, and that will help a lot to revitalize their area. That will be great for cruise tourists. So that's the only request I have for the government. And then again, it has to be led by the private sector. We cannot wait for the government to do our homework.
Yeah.
But we need their help.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
And besides that, spending more time with my kids and my wife. That's I need some time.
But you know, Alberto, it's so beautiful for you to say you're not just a project developer. You are very involved as well in the community of Aruba, and that's beautiful.
Yes, even though I'm Venezuelan, I feel Aruban.
Thank you so much for that.
Okay.
So, guys, this is the end of this episode. We will see you in the next one. Bye.